morning, everyone. My name is Monica Brown. Buenos días. Me llamo Monica Brown. Soy autora, escritora. I am a writer. I am a teacher. Soy profesora también. I'm a professor at Northern Arizona University, and I am so happy to be here. Before I do anything else, I want you to repeat after me. That is beautiful. You have great rhythm, students. And when I do that, what do you think I mean? Because we have special time together, and I have such a special story to share with you. And afterwards, I'm going to take questions for you from everyone, not from everyone, but as many as I can. Again, we are celebrating books and literacy today and the lives of two extraordinary people, Julian and Joaquin Castro. And guess where they're from? San Antonio. Can everyone say San Antonio? Yay! Now, I wrote this book in English and Spanish, just like I introduced myself in two languages, because I grew up speaking two languages. My mother is from Peru in South America, and my father is from the United States. Mi mamá era peruana de Sudamérica, y mi papá es norteamericano. How many people here speak more than one language? Raise your hand. How many of you want to learn another language? So everyone here either speaks two languages or wants to learn one. Give yourselves a hand. Bravo. Now, I'm going to read the book today in English, and it's called Small Room, Big Dreams, The Journey of Julian and Joaquin Castro. And in Spanish, it's called Pequeña Habitación, Grandes Sueños. I am really excited, and it is about dreaming, and it's about the dreams of two boys that were just like all of you students right here in San Antonio. So I want us all to take a minute and close our eyes. And when you close your eyes, I want you to think about, what is your dream? Don't tell anyone, keep it in your mind right now. What do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to be a firefighter? Do you want to be a congressman? Do you want to be president? Do you want to be an artist? Do you want to write books like I do and be an author? Think about what adventures do you want to go on? Do you want to travel all over the world? Do you want to travel all over Texas? Open your eyes. Now let's hear about the dreams of two twins, Julian and Joaquin Castro. And this is a true story, which means it's nonfiction. And if any of you come tomorrow to the book festival at 2:45, you can meet me and Congressman Joaquin Castro, because we're going to be reading and sharing our book. So this is the true story of two boys born right here in San Antonio. And it starts with a very fancy event that was on television that I watched. And I'm quoting Joaquin Castro. Here we go. We can start the PowerPoint. We shared a small room and big dreams, Joaquin Castro said. He looked out at a sea of excited, hopeful faces. There were millions watching on television, and Joaquin was about to introduce his twin brother, Julian, to the 2012 Democratic National Convention. He was filled with love and pride as he said, "I present to you my best friend and my brother, Mayor Julian Castro." The crowd roared with applause as Julian walked out onto the stage. The Castro brothers' journey didn't begin on a stage, however, but nearly a century earlier when their grandmother Victoriana crossed the border between Mexico and the United States. Victoriana was born in the middle of the Mexican Revolution, and after both of her parents died, she went north in 1922. Victoriana was a sad and scared 7-year-old when she held hands with her sister and crossed the border into Texas to be taken in by relatives they had never met. Victoriana, who would one day be called Mamo by her grandsons, lived in San Antonio's West Side barrio. Her life was not easy. Mamo's family was so poor, she had to drop out of school in the 3rd grade to help support them. Though Mamo loved to read, she spent most of her time cleaning houses for $5 a day in the fancier neighborhoods of San Antonio. She also cooked and took care of other people's children. In 1947, Mamo had a daughter of her own named Rosie. As Rosie grew up, she learned that things weren't fair for Mexican Americans in San Antonio. They worked hard, but stayed poor. And kids like Rosie weren't allowed to play at certain playgrounds or even swim in some public schools. Rosie graduated from high school at the top of her class and won a scholarship to a local college. Rosie wanted to help her community by becoming a teacher and getting involved in politics. She was tired of seeing her barrio flood during rainstorms with trash flowing down the street because of bad drainage systems. Rosie joined the Committee for Barrio Betterment and La Raza Unida Party. Rosie Castro was the first Chicana to run for San Antonio City Council in 1971. Rosie came in second and lost, but she still raised her fist saying, "We will be back." She knew that one day soon San Antonians would elect leaders that cared about the barrio. Rosie met a teacher and community volunteer named Jesse Guzman, and they had twin sons, first Julian and then Joaquin, who was born 1 minute after his big brother. Julian and Joaquin looked exactly alike, and they shared a tiny room with their grandmother, Mamo, who had moved in to help take care of them. Each night before bed, Mamo Victoriana would sing lullabies in Spanish and say a little prayer for each boy. Que Dios los bendiga, Mamo said, praying that her beloved grandsons would be blessed. As the boys grew older, they were always together and always competing. They didn't have much money, but Julian and Joaquin loved walking with Mamo to the bookmobile and the library where they could check out books for free. And all of you can too. Mamo had taught herself to read in Spanish and English, and she loved reading to her grandsons. The boys were always together and always competing at school, playing sports and in everything they did. Julian was more studious and Joaquin was more social, but both loved lucha libre and wrestling with each other. They even argued over their favorite football teams. Julian rooted for the Philadelphia Eagles and Joaquin for the Dallas Cowboys. They were only 8 when their father left, and then it was just Mamo, Rosie, Julian, and Joaquin in the little house in the barrio. Each day when they came back from school, Mama would give them milk and cookies, and then it was time for homework. Rosie knew that by studying hard, the boys could reach for the sky. She gave them $1 for every A they earned on their report card. And after the twins finished their homework, they played in the backyard with their dog, Flea, reading wrestling magazines, and explored their neighborhood. Hold on one second. In the summer, Julian and Joaquin would often hop on the bus with their mom, who did social work for the city of San Antonio. The twins climbed trees and played in the grass in the courtyard outside, the Plaza de Armas, before heading to downtown to Panchito's for lunch of cheese enchiladas. When not working, Rosie volunteered on different campaigns to help get more Mexican Americans elected, and she always brought Julian and Joaquin with her. She wanted the boys to learn that participating in their communities through politics was important. Work made people's lives better. Work to make people's lives better, Rosie told her sons, and they listened. At home, over dinner, they would debate anything from politics to football with their mother. Julian and Joaquin went to Jefferson High School, where they did great in their classes. The twins played against each other on the tennis team, which usually ended with one of them mad. When their coach saw how competitive they were, she decided to pair them up on a doubles team. Playing side by side, Julian and Joaquin did better than ever and loved sharing their victories. The brothers pushed each other to do well in school and take more classes. They realized that with night classes and summer school, they could graduate from high school early. Julian and Joaquin decided to apply to the best colleges in the country. Even though few kids in their barrio ever left it, they decided to dream big, and they both got into Stanford University. But now they had a new worry. Would it cost too much? Between Rosie and the twins' hard work, help from the university, and support from their community, Julian and Joaquin made their dreams come true. And before they moved to college, their neighborhood had a party and gave the boys luggage and sheets and things they would need to start. By the time it came for Julian and Joaquin to leave San Antonio and their mom and mamo, they were sad and cried all the way to California. And at Stanford, they studied communication and politics, and they ran for spots on the student senate. And they worked on the same team, and together they won. They tied for first place, each receiving the exact same number of votes. Side by side, the Castro brothers won their first election. They were happy at Stanford and planning their future when they learned that Mama was very sick. They flew home to say goodbye to their grandmother, who had helped raise them. Even though Mama was dying, she wanted to hear about their studies. Mama couldn't finish her education because she had to go to work cleaning houses, but she was proud that her twins' grandsons could, and that children like you can finish and go to school and make an impact. And they promised, when Mama passed away, to honor their grandmother by using their education to help others. And after college, they went to law school at Harvard University before moving back to San Antonio, right here, where they worked as lawyers and tried to make a difference. But Julian and Joaquin didn't want to wait for change. They wanted to work for change, just like Rosie had taught them, by bringing them to political meetings and demonstrations. Julian decided to run for office at 26, becoming the youngest person ever elected to the city council. And then a few years later, he ran for mayor, but he lost. Luckily, Julian had learned from Mamo and his mom, Rosie, to never give up. A few years later, he ran in 2009, and he won. Now Julian was Mayor Castro, and one of the first things he did was put up Rosie's old campaign poster on the wall to remind him to work hard for his community. Julian used his new job to fight for pre-kindergarten education for all the children in his city, not just those who could pay for private schools, and he succeeded. In 2002, Joaquin ran for the Texas House of Representatives, and he won. And at the celebration party, the first thing he did was thank his mom, saying, "We are back." Joaquin worked to support health care, education, and justice for young people who needed a second chance. And as the Castro brothers' dreams grew bigger, so did their families. Julian met Erica Lira, a teacher who was passionate about education, and they married and became parents of a daughter, Karina Victoria, named in memory of their Mama Victoriana, and a son, Cristian. Joaquin married Ana Flores, and they had a girl, and then a boy named Andrea, and then a boy named Roman Victor, also honoring his beloved Mama Victoriana. One day, after 5 years as San Antonio's mayor, Julian received a call, and it was from the President of the United States, Barack Obama, and he asked Julian to serve in his cabinet, and Julian said yes. As Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Julian worked hard to help people whose communities were destroyed by floods and hurricanes, and focused on making sure people of all backgrounds were treated fairly while looking for a home. And meanwhile, Joaquin decided to run for the United States Congress. He won handily and became Congressman Castro. And he continued to fight for women, immigrants, equality, and justice. Joaquin joined his brother, Julian, in Washington, D.C. Julian and Joaquin Castro are living their dream of working for change. On January 2019, Julian Castro aimed for his highest dream, to be announcing his candidacy for President of the United States. His brother, Joaquin, was his campaign chairman. Though Julian wasn't elected president in 2020, he promised to keep fighting for a nation where everyone counts. And we don't know what the future holds, boys and girls and students, but we all remember the day in September 2012 when Julian Castro stepped on stage at the Democratic National Convention to speak to millions, and he was introduced by his brother and best friends. The days we live in are not easy ones, Julian told the crowd. And then he shared the story of his small room and his big dream, that of people coming together to make the country stronger and more fair. It begins now, Julian said, remembering what his mama used to say to him and his brother every night. Que Dios los bendiga. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. The end. Give yourselves a hand, students. Whew. Thank you for being such absolutely amazing listeners. I would love to take a few questions with teachers' help. I see somebody has his hand up back there. You're gonna have to stand up and shout out your question. Yes, you.
How is it like to be an author?
Being an author is so fun, and one of the funnest things about it is I get to meet students like you. What's your name? Christian? And what's your name?
Xochitl.
Xochita?
No, Xochitl.
Xochitl. I like that name. And so you know what? Meeting students like you inspire me. So maybe I'll start, write a book about students like Xochitl and Christian and Glendy and all the students I met. But these 3 students won't just be regular students. they'll be superheroes. And at night, they'll fly over San Antonio and save the city. Other questions? Yes. Stand up and shout it out. Say it again and really loud. Do you want to come up here and ask your question? Okay, shout it out. I'm going to come here so I can make sure to hear you. What's your question? He was running for office because he had a job to do. Yes, let's give him a hand for doing that. And you all have jobs to do, just like Joaquin and Julian Castro. The job to do was to make San Antonio and the world better. Over here we have some questions. Who has a question? Yes, turquoise shirt. What made me want to be an author? Make books. Well, guess what? The reason I like to make books and write books and work with amazing artists like Mirel Ortega, who did the pictures in the books, you see her, she's the illustrator and I'm the writer, is because I like to read books. And books are so amazing. They're like having friends. If I'm grumpy or if I'm lonely, I can open a book and have an adventure. I can make a new friend or learn something new. Teachers, you want to help me pick a student to answer questions? Yes, back there at the... Did I follow my dreams when I was young? Yes, thank you for asking. When I went to school, I loved to read when I was young. I needed to read. I liked to escape into books. And so the first thing I did when I went to college is I started studying literature, and then I wanted to travel and I wanted to write, so I became a journalist, a newspaper writer in Mexico. Because I spoke 2 languages, I moved to Mexico, Guadalajara. Are anyone's families from Jalisco?
My grandma is from Colombia.
Wow. And so I followed my dreams to create a life with words, and I got to do that. First I was a journalist, then I became a teacher of literature, and then I created literature for children like you. Great question. Who else has a question? Back there with you, in the navy shirt with long sleeves. Yell it out loud.
How do you write a book?
It takes a lot of hard work. The question is, how do you write a book? But guess what? Anything you do that's special usually takes practice. So when I get an idea for the story, I usually go to the library and I start researching. And then I start drafting and taking notes. And then when I have a manuscript, do you think the book is done? No. I send it to someone that's like my teacher, but it's my literary agent, and she gives me feedback. And then I start over and I listen to what she says and I revise. And then is it a book? Not yet. Then we send it to an editor and they give me feedback, and I keep working on the book until it's just ready to come to all of you. So students, I have a question. When your teachers write things on your assignment about how you can improve your writing, your work, what should you tell them? Should you be grumpy? Should you say, oh no, I have to redo this? What are the 2 words you should say to your teachers when they give you feedback? Yes? Always try your best, but also thank you, because they're helping you become better writers. Can we all say, thank you, teachers?
Thank you, teacher.
Let's say it again. Thank you, teachers. Thank you for helping us learn and grow. And then maybe if you work on your writing, we'll have books next to each other someday. I bet there's some book writers here, and I bet you have things to say that you want to share with the world, and I can't wait to hear it. Yes? Question.
How do you choose names for the book?
How do I choose? Well, what's your name? Araceli? I think I might have to have an Araceli in my next book. So I have a bunch of books coming out, but I know we have some big kids here. Guess what? I have a book coming out about mermaids. I'm very excited. And the title is The Fantastical Tales of Mari A. Fish. And it's about a mermaid who comes above water to be a spy. She's a mermaid princess, but she wants to find out why the humans are polluting the ocean so much. And she has 505 siblings, brothers and sisters. And so maybe I'll pick Araceli to be one of those siblings. I have to remember, if Araceli's teacher is here, text me or email me, and I will make one of the mermaid siblings named Araceli. But that's it. There's more than 500 kids here, so I can't do everyone. But I will be inspired by you to use your name in a book. The other truth is my daughters are named Isabella and Juliana, and there are a lot of Isas, Izzies, Juju, Juliana, Jules in my book, and all my nieces and nephews. So you all like, I know you all like Marisol McDonald Doesn't Match, No Combina. And the characters are named after my nieces and nephews, Noah, Ollie, Emma. They're some of the characters, and I have nieces and nephews with all those names. Do you know what I like that Marisol says that I think maybe you can stay with me? She says, my name is Marisol McDonald, and I don't match because I don't want to. I am simply marvelous, simplemente maravilloso. Can we all say, we are simply marvelous?
We are simply marvelous.
Simplemente maravilloso. Bravo, students. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for letting me talk to you today. And thank you to the San Antonio Book Festival. Can we all say, thanks, San Antonio Book Festival?